Good day, all. We're going out for another day of antiquing and thrift storing. This is one of my favorite thrift stores off Cape, just off Cape. Here you can see antiques and thrift shop. I just think it's a fun combination of both affordably priced fun little treasures as you would find thrifting, but yet still lovely pieces of antiques intermingled. I love this giant toad for the garden. And another interesting giant frog on a penny farthing bicycle. So, antiquing thrifting day, let's head on in and see what treasures we can find. Now today I'm basically looking for larger pieces like dressers and things, and also I'm trying to find some lamps. So here we are inside. Oh, what a really fun painting. And here you can see, as I said, kind of a mix of thrift store finds, like some lovely costume jewelry. Here's a fun wooden whale, very Cape Cod. But the things are curated really nicely, like this little stand of lovely trinkets and bracelets. It's well done, so it's fun to shop, and the prices are really good. And yet you'll find, here's a beautiful, this painting is $4.50, but this is I believe, what is it? Yes, an R. Hill Beamish, who was a 19th century watercolorist in the New York School or the Hudson River School, and mainly painting pastoral landscapes. But I know he painted sheep a lot, and I think this looks really darling. It's nicely framed as well. And I love that cigar store Indian. So we have I'm trying not to move too quickly because I don't want to make anyone sick, but as you can see, the place is worth many, many trips because you'd never see everything in one trip. But again, we have a lovely expensive painting and then a beautiful vintage bike for only $50. I actually think this is really darling. This is the kind of bike I love to ride around our area. You can put a little basket in the back, throw your luncheon for the afternoon in, or a little thermos of tea. And it's dense with lots of little treasures. Again, a mixture of thrift shop things, meaning like affordably priced, and more like vintage, as well as lovely antique pieces. Now this, I love Jadeite. Now this Jadeite chicken, let's see, $45. That's not bad. But again, this could possibly be a reproduction, but I don't really mind because Jadeite isn't that old, like from the 30s to the 50s, so reproductions are fine for me. But again, a lovely mixture of finds. Oh, and I always love any sort of blues. This blue pottery is really beautiful. It is $65, and this is probably because it's a finer piece. Now I love little wooden objects like this, especially for the pantry. So you can see this is some spice boxes. Now $95 is not bad for this. Look how many little wooden boxes you get. Now what I actually would use this for is I would love this in my studio. I could put all sorts of little charcoals, drawing pencils, small little things like that. Little treasures that I use to sketch from, seashells, etc. Here's another pretty little blue pot. A blue vase, really. It's nice and heavy. Definitely hand thrown. It's numbered, and it is $65. So again, this is like a little bit higher quality stoneware, and it's really pretty. I like that little lemon teacup with the lid as well. That's cute. So again, trying to not move too quickly, but it is hard to move about and not make others feel dizzy, but trying to get a general flow of the place. You can see how nicely it's curated. Oh, and here's some more Jadeite. I love these little Jadeite cups. Now these actually might be vintage considering they're 22. Now I would use them for flowers because wouldn't they be a darling setup in a window like that with flowers in them? And I'm looking for bigger pieces, sideboards and things. Oh, this little oak piece, which was probably a washstand. See, $125, that's really nice. This is a lovely piece of oak. Let's see. Oh, the drawer opens nice and easy. And you can see, of course, it's a solid oak piece, unlike a modern piece. It has a scalloped dovetail in the end. And look how pretty the finish of the oak is. Really pretty piece. Oh, and here's another larger wooden piece that you would use in your hall, like a hall tree or a hall stand, with the built-in mirror and the spots for your browlies, and a place to keep your keys and your gloves. This is really sweet, actually. This is $3.75, but this is really a lovely piece of wood. And when you consider what you would pay at IKEA for flat pack furniture, that's an amazing price. And really densely packed, but well curated with all kinds of little treasures. That little painted heart box on the top is lovely. We'll probably make multiple trips here because it is hard to see everything at once, and I'd rather focus on a few things and trying to go slowly just so people can have a little look. And I love the Father Christmas dressed up as St. Patrick. This case has lots of newer and more higher end pottery pieces. Really lovely. Now this is not old. This is probably English. Yes, it's English. This is probably even from the 80s. In fact, it makes me think of kitchens in England in the 80s, but I like it because it's blue and white. And because it's probably new and dishwasher safe, I love to mix these kind of more easily usable, yes, let's see. Yes, Wooden Sons. And see, acid and detergent proof, so you could throw it in the dishwasher. This mingled with plain blue and white modern china is such a great way to have particularly when I have a rental cottage, something to look cute, but I don't have to worry about people breaking it. And it even comes with a coffee pot or chocolate pot. So that's $85 for a large set of dishes. So that's something I'll probably keep in the back of my head because look how pretty the coffee pot is. That's really nice. And again, it would mix really well with blue willow or any kind of blue and white spode, or even just inexpensive solid blue and solid white plates that you could get inexpensively. Here's another little blue and white teapot. Can never have enough teapots. Now see, that's only $15, so that's a lovely find. That's sort of like the thrift store end that I like about this place. You have a good mix of the two. And lovely little bits of lace. Pretty baskets. I kind of do need baskets, but I kind of have to focus on one thing. I'm looking for furniture and lamps today. Again, trying to give a little bit of a slow pan so you can see the denseness of all the booths of various antiques and lovely old vintage finds. I love that highboy dresser. It's really pretty. This is really nice. Now, if this were like an actual original piece, it would be hundreds of thousands of dollars, but looks like a very well-made modern piece, which is why it's only $550, which that's an amazing price. This is a large piece of furniture, and would be beautiful in a bedroom, or I think even in a sitting room, and all the little drawers. This particular style always makes you think of the old movie Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. There's a scene in there that they have a highboy like this, and it always makes you think of that. Oh, now looking for lamps. This is a darling set of pink lamps, a pair. Oh, for $65. These would be adorable for bedside lamps. Or even on a coffee table, sofa table behind a sofa. But aren't they pretty? They're that sort of soft pink that I love. That's much more 1930s than 1980s pink. Again, moving as slowly as possible. Some pretty milk glass. I love this bench. This would be so pretty at Old Kings, where it's the three chair bench. It looks like it's actually an old piece, so it probably will be a little bit more pricey, but just based on the fact that it's probably an authentic. Yes, $6.95, but I'm sure it's a genuine antique. It's really beautiful. And I think that's actually a fair price considering the quality and the age of that piece. And I could definitely see that at Old Kings. And of course, always blue and white. I love these, the sort of American versions of the blue and white. Historic colonial scenes. Betsy Ross. made in England. I'm guessing these, see, only $4. Now I think this would mix lovely with that other little blue and white set we just looked at. I kind of like the melange of different scenes going on, but yet the unity of the blue and white. Wow, lots of little bits of furniture. And of course, I'm always obsessed with chairs. I love this spool chair. And it looks like it has the original old fabric and cushions. This is really pretty. I could see this at Bunny Hall, actually. This would be great in a bedroom, or let's see what we're looking at here. $225. See, I think that's an amazing price, considering it's you can tell it has the look of probably the original fabric, or maybe like the 1910s. I love old periodicals and magazines. Let's see this one, if I can focus here. This one is from 1876. In fact, I have quite a collection of old vintage magazines from the late 1800s through the 30s into the 50s that I actually still read. And usually I often find myself enjoying reading an older magazine than a more modern magazine. Oh, look at these darling Beatrix Potter prints. These are really adorable. I love that. Jemima Puddle Duck. So sweet. Of course, I love Beatrix Potter, loving to paint and draw animals myself. Oh, wow, that's a good price already, but there's a red line through it. Cheaper than $48 for that print. I should find out how much these prints are. They're really pretty. And even the rugs on the floor are for sale. I actually am looking for rugs too, but again, I have to stay focused on a few things or I find myself becoming too scattered. A lovely old chest. Another piece that you can always use for coffee tables, side tables, storage at end of beds, in craft studios to keep fabric. Here's another darling little oak side piece. Perfect for like side tables. That's only $65. Wow, I need to put that on the possibility list. Opens nicely. Nice wood. Huh. And it's not that old, so even if I wanted to paint it, I wouldn't feel that bad about painting it, although I really like the finish on this. It's pretty and oak. I'll have to keep that in the back of my head as a possibility. Again, trying to move slowly. I don't want to make anyone dizzy. Lots of little treasures here and there. I'm hoping I'm moving slow enough that you can kind of gaze about as if you were just in the shop yourself. A funny little pig light. This is a pretty little chamber pot. It's funny how decorative. I love anything with a fern motif. Only $12. Now these make great floral things to put floral arrangements in. I know our great grandmothers would be shocked in horror that we were putting flowers in the chamber pots. Lots of really pretty wooden tools. Those type of things I think always look lovely in like a studio or a creative space, just hanging on the wall. Nice old wooden box. So hopefully you're able to just kind of look around and see the little treasures you might want to find if you were here shopping yourself. Now let's go over here. This place is really dense, so I don't know if I'll get everything in this. I may have to break this up into a couple visits as well, so maybe I'll do half the shop in this vlog and I'll do the other one in another. I kind of like those little slipper chairs. Let's see. See, I really think those are kind of pretty. A pair of slipper chairs. Wow, those are only $45 a chair. And they have the matching pillows, and I really like that faded fabric. It's quite pretty. Those are really darling. Those are so good for a bedroom. Or little side chairs. You always need little side chairs, and ones that are comfortable are hard to come by. I love finds like this. So these, I'm about 100% sure these came out of an old sewing machine case, probably from the 1900s. But see how they're two little sets of drawers, nicely carved. So you could use them and make any sort of project. What are we looking at for price here? Wow, that's under $40 for hand-carved little wooden drawers, 2 each, and they're in their own little holder because they would have been hanging on a sewing machine. I love this. This has been in here before, and I just love it. Someone made an old radio that took out the innards and made it into a darling little cottage. Look at the little oil lamp and the stairs leading up, and the 4-poster bed. I think $125 is a good price for all that work. And upstairs, the family happily in the drawing room. That's really sweet. And again, the thrift store mixed with antique store feel is really fun because there's so many little treasures here and there. It's a little blue and white vase up there. Oh, I like this pink and white transferware tureen. It's really pretty. Now see, $45, that's a really good price. It's probably because it's missing the ladle, or it may have cracks, but it has the plate that it sits upon, and again, you could use it for its intended purpose, or it would be beautiful with plants in. I would love to plant it with ferns. No clock. Again, trying to move slowly. Oh, I love the pink. The depression glass comes in so many shades, but there's something about this pink. It's very 1930s. It's that sort of soft pink that just hovers on the edge of peach. They're really pretty, and as you can see, the prices can be a little bit higher if it's a more rare piece, but still fairly priced. I love these old refrigerator boxes like this. Now that's not bad. Not only is it lovely and you could display it, but you could also use it in your refrigerator. I know a lot of people are moving away from plastic, and antique glass, will last. But look how pretty they look all together. Just curating things in the same color family makes collections look less cluttered and more intentional, I think. That old sleigh. Or sled. So trying to move slowly, not to make anyone dizzy, but allow you to kind of have a little peek around at all the little treasures. Now there's another half of this building that I'm not sure if I'll get to that in this. I love this. Things like this. The little stool made with deer legs. That's just has the look of something you'd see in a stone boot room in a country house in England. So many little details. And then when I go through and edit, of course, I see more things that I forgot about while I was there. So often I'm able to contact them again and say, oh, I saw this. Can you set that aside? Sweet little things in this cabinet. It's a pretty little blue and white. Oh, that's a good price. This case is also pretty as well. Really pretty. Lovely roses, hand-painted, I'm sure. Other little treasures here and there. Lots of tchotchkes mixed with higher end things, but that's what I love because there's kind of something for everyone. And if you're looking for things to do floral arrangements or things to plant in, this is a great place to come because the amount of darling like old chipped pots that weren't that expensive that end up in my plant room. That's a pretty chest of drawers. It's a unique little round table. Those round tables are always so good in libraries or studies to keep your books on, especially when they spin. Okay. Well, you know what? I think I am going to... I love this. Some great-great-grandfather's portrait in his christening gown. I think I might break this up into a couple of posts just because there is so much to see and it's so rich and dense with things. Look at this darling old... I love vintage toys. I'm assuming he's probably from the 50s. 45 isn't bad because I have a feeling he's probably mechanized. Oh, yes. Look, you could put a battery in. Now that's adorable. And I bet he still works. I love that. But see, that's a sort of fun combination of things you can find here. Oh, and I know that the owner mentioned that starting this week, they're going to be offering 25% off. So if anyone local wants to head out, now's the time to do it. So I think I will split this into two things. So maybe I'll end this video here with, again, I'm obsessed with chairs. I love this chair, and the needlepoint on the fabric is so lovely. It's very Art Nouveau. But I have other things to do, so let's end the video here and head on out to the next project. Well, I'm stopping for chickens. Now, normally I go to a local place on the Cape, a small business, but they have been selling out of their chicks so fast that I never make it there in time. So I do know that Tractor Supply here off Cape has chicks in. So I'm going to get them, and I think they have some of the blue egg layers I wanted. So let's see. Let's see. There they are. Good morning. Well, thank you for joining me for today's vlog. You can see here are the 3 new little chicks. This little fella. Aren't they beautiful? So they're bluebell eggers, I believe they're called. So they're going to lay a really true blue egg. They're a cross between an Arcana, which lays a blue egg, and a Leghorn, which lays a pure white egg. So I think that's how they get the more pure blue. And of course, Leghorns are really good for egg production, and then the Arcanas are much friendlier, so I'm pretty excited about how they're going to turn out. It's, even though it's overcast today, it's quite warm. It's about 50. I won't leave them out too long. I'm just letting them play a bit before I put them back in with the larger chicks. Aren't they darling, though? Well, thank you for joining me for today's vlog, and I hope you enjoyed another outing. And I'll see you in the comments during the week. And until next week, remember, stay creative. Cheers. Mm-hmm.